Hello everyone, Paul Rogers here. Today I'm going to be starting a new series talking about high yield investment programs. I know most of my videos involve trading and technical analysis of the Bitcoin US dollar trading pair, but there's other ways to increase the amount of Bitcoin you have, and one thing that's been become popular in the cryptocurrency market is programs involving cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, and high yield investment programs. Now first, what is a high yield investment program? I would say the best definition is anything that's going to pay you more than what a bank will pay. So that could be, let's say a bank pays 5 to 10% a year. A high yield investment program will pay at least 20% a year, sometimes 20% a week, or 20% a day, or even 20% an hour, which sounds kind of crazy, but there's a wide spectrum of what a high yield investment program is and how they're set up. Now, one popular high yield investment program that's out right now, as an example, is BitConnect. Now, BitConnect has been running for over a year, and it, let's see what it's promising. BitConnect is promising to make you lots of cash. Let's go to the lending program, which is what everyone in BitConnect really likes, this lending program. Now, as you can see, they're paying about 40% per month. And that's, an extremely high rate of return. Now, mind you, they're not paying you in Bitcoin. So if you put in $1,000 of Bitcoin, they're not going to pay you 0.4 Bitcoin in a month. They're paying you based on US dollars. So if Bitcoin price were to double in 1 month, you would actually lose money being involved in a program like BitConnect. Now, generally speaking though, Bitcoin doesn't normally grow 40% in a month. And so if you have your money invested in BitConnect, it's a little bit more of a secure form. And when I say secure, I mean that's assuming that the program doesn't collapse or something weird happens, like they run off with your money. You're basically guaranteed to get 40% per month, and the more you put in, the more they actually pay out. And so they do this in these forms of loans, and these loans mature in different periods as well. So if someone puts in $10,000, they can have their money back within 120 days, and while the money is lent out, they'll be making 40% per month. So yeah, sounds pretty amazing, huh? It's a program that's become very, very popular. It's very divisive. If you Google BitConnect, you'll probably find a lot of people promoting it and offering codes in order to sign up. And you'll also find an equal amount of people screaming from the highest tree that it is a scam and that you should stay away from it. Now, thus far, the people that have been involved in BitConnect, that have joined it, have made really good money. I think they've come out really, really well. If you joined it, 6 months to a year ago, I'm sure that you're doing very well with BitConnect. But it's very difficult to determine how long these programs will last. Now, let me go on to my next question, which is, how can a website like this afford to pay out such a high return? And this is a really, really important question to ask. Now, BitConnect specifically is saying that they can pay out a high rate of return because they have a trading bot. Now, this trading bot supposedly takes the money that you lend BitConnect and reinvests it by trading using this program. And this program supposedly makes such a high rate of return that they can afford to pay you to lend money, and at a very, very high rate. This is what they're claiming. Now, most high yield investment programs have some sort of, I'd say a little bit of a gimmicky widget is what I'll call it, is something that's kind of like generating all this money for you. And BitConnect chooses to make that a robot that you can't obviously test. There's no documentation that it's actually trading. So it's more or less something imaginary. I mean, it could exist, but it's very, very debatable, and most people would probably say the trading robot does not exist. Now, this is a common thread with high yield investment programs that are promising a rate of return around 1% or higher. They basically created a concept that something is making tons of money, and if you invest, they'll pay you a very high rate of return. So I think that's a common thread with all high yield investment programs, is that you'll find this imaginary thing that's just cranking out dough. Now, does that make them a scam? Well, by the most common definition, a scam is a dishonest scheme or a fraud. Does this make them a fraud in the purest sense? If they are knowingly lying to you, there is no trading bot, then yes, that makes them a scam. There's another definition, in my opinion, of scam, which is commonly used on the internet. It's something that you basically lose money with. So if you make an investment and you lose money for whatever reason, maybe the product or service doesn't deliver, what it's it's being sold as, or what have you, or another competing product comes out and outcompetes it, people would say, oh, that's a scam. That's a scam because I put in money, they said things were going to go well, and things didn't go well, and I lost money. So on that definition, you could argue either way whether something like BitConnect is a scam or not, because there are people making lots of money with BitConnect. Is it a scam for them? Not at all. Not at all, because they're making lots of money, and if BitConnect were to close tomorrow, they would be ahead. And so they would look back at BitConnect as something positive, as a positive experience in their life. Now, someone who invested money in BitConnect, let's say recently, they wouldn't have the same opinion of BitConnect. They would say it's a scam, and when they think about it, it would give them kind of negative emotions. Now, there's one other thing about high yield investment programs, because they have these, I'm just going to call them imaginary widgets that make them a little bit different than a typical company. Typical companies have different phases. When something's released, the growth, maturity, and then a decline. And this happens with almost every company, almost every product there is. With high yield investment programs, though, if the people that created it, the widget does not exist. They're basically created a pyramid scheme where the only way they can afford to actually pay people out these high returns is by going and taking new investment to feed people that previously joined. That is a classic pyramid scheme where there is no product, there is no service, there is no widget. There's just new people joining, and the new people joining are paying the people that previously joined, and it keeps going until everything falls apart. Now, the point at which things fall apart is usually once the people that own this website start to notice that their accounts are being reduced, meaning that the amount of money that they're taking in is less than the amount of money that they're taking in is less than what they're paying out. So their accounts, their bank account or Bitcoin address starts to decline, and they say, now wait a minute, we're in this to make money. We're noticing that things are slowing and our accounts are getting smaller and smaller, not bigger and bigger. We're going to close this thing down. And they'll make an excuse. They'll usually say we were hacked, or they might just take the website completely offline without any explanation whatsoever, but they'll disappear. And so they won't even go through this decline period because they never really they don't have any skin in the game, so to speak. They don't have a product that they can resuscitate and get back into this growth phase. So that's one key difference between a high yield investment program that is basically nothing more than a pyramid scheme and a traditional investment. Another good question to ask is, can you profit from investing in high yield investment programs? Now, in my opinion, there's two major ways to increase the amount of Bitcoin you have. One is by trading. You can trade your way to more Bitcoin. That's something that can be done through technical analysis and fundamental analysis, basically trying to go and outsmart the market and grow the amount of Bitcoin that you have. And it's quite difficult actually for most people, because it involves basically, when people are scared, you're buying, and when people are in euphoria, you're selling, which is the opposite of human nature. And so trading is not something that most people can do effectively. It's something that takes a lot of discipline, and it's very difficult. Now, the other way that you can make money, or let's say increase the amount of Bitcoin that you have, is by going into these high yield investment programs. Now, this is also risky, and it's risky because there's a lot of ways that you can do this where things end very poorly. Let's say you find this program, they're promising 10% returns per day. You know a bunch of people that are invested in it, and they're showing you the receipts of where they're making their 10% per day, and everything looks great. Now, the problem is that when you get involved in this, if you're putting, let's say, all your Bitcoin into one program, and this program goes belly up before you get your return back, or let's say it happens the very first day, you invest, and then all of a sudden the website goes down, you've lost all your Bitcoin. You've been basically scammed. So there's a lot of strategy involved in investing in high yield investment programs as well. I actually do both. I trade Bitcoin and I invest in high yield investment programs. The reason is because some of these programs can be very, very profitable. You get in early, you invest, you make your initial investment back, and then from there it's profit. But I'm very, very careful not to invest more than I can afford to lose, and to try to spread out risk as much as possible when I am investing in high yield investment programs. And I'm going into this fully understanding what the risks are and what a high yield investment program is. I assume every high yield investment program is a scam. I do. Now, that's not the case. Some of them aren't scams probably, but I always assume that they are a scam, so I can get my mind in the right place. And the right place is looking at this chart and asking myself, where are we in this? What are the chances that this thing is going to grow? And what's the probability that I'm going to be able to go and get my initial investment back and profit? So those are some, things. That's my mentality going into it. And lastly, how do you choose one? Now, I'm not going to get into how to choose a high yield investment program in this video. I will be making more videos about high yield investment programs during this week. I'm very new to making videos and all this sort of thing, but it's something that I've had success with trading and investing, and I really enjoy it. It's something that's a lot of fun. And so I'll be making a series about high yield investment programs. If that's something that interests you, please subscribe to my channel. I promise you that I will put out as best content as I can. I can't promise really good graphics or anything, but I can promise that the content will be quality, and I will be updating or uploading new videos on a regular basis. Anyhow, take care. Paul out.